What's the Not Your Finest Hour podcast? What is that all? I mean, I've heard stories.
Not Our Finest Hour podcast. One I'll have to check out one of these days when I get a minute to listen to it. I've been told it's not for everyone. I don't know. It's just the general reviews I hear on it, but it has been getting really good reviews.
And I've never personally listened to it, but I have heard it's not for everyone.
I listened to the Not Our Finest Hour podcast. Just great podcast. I've really enjoyed that.
I'm not endorsing anything. From what I said, from what Caleb told me, he said don't endorse anything unless you listen to it first.
I do once in a while listen in, and it's a lot of fun. But I do got to be careful. It is not for everyone.
Caleb Allman is always dropping notes that it's one of the most value-added shows out there.
Of course, through all the Not Our Finest Hour, you guys poking fun at so much different stuff is absolutely killer.
I don't feel any oppression tonight. In fact, I feel very free. The Not Our Finest Hour podcast. Thanks for being here.
This is fucking annoying as fuck. I fucking hate Zoom. It's like the worst fucking program. No wonder it's going bankrupt or whatever.
Is it really?
Fucking great.
It's because
I don't know.
Nobody needs it anymore.
It's fucking. This is the worst fucking program. Like, I feel like we should go back to Skype.
I hated Skype.
Oh, look, it fucking disappeared after 30 minutes.
What disappeared?
There's this little sign saying, learn more about chat. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about chatting. And like, why would I want to type a bunch of shit to chat to people in Zoom when everyone can already see it? I might as well just fucking say it. Like, if I could private message chat about Mike, that's different. But like, if I'm going to put it in a group chat where everyone sees it, why the fuck would I do that? That makes no sense. Like, I might as well just say what I'm thinking. Welcome to the beginning of the podcast. It's kind of broken and fucked up, but it's happening. Why? What are you saying? We should start the podcast over and not include the thing where we're all... I think that's what people... I mean, people obviously don't come here for coaching, so... Do you think that no one wanted any coaching from us because they're just really busy because it's September, or because everyone knows we have nothing to offer?
I was wondering if we were past our prime.
Potentially.
I think everyone's really busy. Well, Chad believes everyone's... Chad has a harsh belief in himself. So he believes he has lots to teach people and everyone's just really busy. I believe I have nothing to teach anyone because I hate myself. Mike, you're in the fence. You're in the middle. You've never stated whether you love yourself or hate yourself.
I would say I'm in the middle. Some days I wake up and feel great, and some days I feel like PK.
Really?
Fuck, I feel bad.
You have the best career on the planet. How could you be miserable all the time?
Best career?
There was some sarcasm there.
Okay.
Some days I wake up and think I have the best job on the planet.
I was listening to this other podcast and they were talking about the same thing that I felt a little bit justified. They're talking about how only two types of personalities will drive to succeed in entrepreneurship. And one is the Chad personality, where you have a harsh belief in yourself and everything that you do. And then the other one was the Mike personality, or the Paver King personality, where you hate yourself. That will drive you forward too. But they said the only personality that is destined to actually succeed long term is the Chad personality, because I will get to the top and then torpedo myself. And if you look at my past history of life, that is exactly what has happened to me over and over again. And I thought, wow, look at that. That's really true. So my shit is about to come crashing down. I hope you guys are ready.
The revolution will be televised.
The revolution will be televised. It will be, my shit's about to come crashing down to earth. And I think it started, I think the downward slide for us started with the pulling of the invasive species.
The Phragmites.
The Phragmites is the downward slide of Paver King.
Did you get it all out?
Well, Liz from JRC and her team did a fantastic job, and they removed all the Phragmites that I could see. So they were even there on Saturday removing them. And Liz and I did a walk around and inspection that's on YouTube if anyone wants to see it. If you want to see what a pond looks like, Fragmite free, we got one, baby. It's all over YouTube. So they did a great job. All the weeds got pulled. And our new bin truck driver, Ross, he went to get the bin of bags of weeds. And he was like, man, it'd be a lot cheaper to get rid of those weeds if they weren't in those plastic bags. You could just dump them in a field. I'm like, bro. Like, bro, they're an invasive species, man. Like, the whole point of them being in the bags is that it's supposed to kill them off from the heat. He's like, it was expensive to dump those things. It was $340. I'm like, well, it was $4,000 to pull them out. So
those things must have been heavy.
yeah. Well, there's dirt attached to the when you pull the root clump out, it's all dirt and you
Yeah.
gotta like spade them out of the ground. I don't know, it's like whatever.
My regular bin to dump my bin, it's like $400, and that's full of
Well,
everything.
the whole bin was full. Like you couldn't have put another bag of them in.
Wow.
There was thousands of them around this pond. That was after 1 year. I don't know how they hope to keep this up. I guess they have a lot of volunteer students. I hope they like chomping around in swamps, and maybe they're going to do a full controlled burn next year. I'm confident I shouldn't be involved in that.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about a controlled burn. I have no controlled burn experience at all. It is not something that plays well to my. So are you driving home, Mike?
I am driving home.
Why are you out so late?
I had to do a top up of a failed poly sand.
Did you pressure wash the whole thing, or did you just top up?
No, this was a client from 3-4 months ago, and they have a shed that is leaking from a, what do you call that? Eaves trough. And
Yep.
it's just like washing away sand in a small little area. So I told them I would come out, put a little sand in, but it's up to them to fix that. It's like broken part of the eaves trough. So they just need to fix that, and water won't be dropping in on that area anymore.
So this was basically unpaid work.
This was unpaid work out of the kindness of my heart.
For a good Google review?
Ideally, that would be nice. How's that 1 star, Chad?
Great. I think everybody should have at least one star review.
What did you do to that? Did you actually hang up on that guy?
So this is how this went down. He said he left me a couple messages, and I've got like 10 unread messages on my phone. And the longer you let them go, the lower they get pushed on the queue, right? So I figure, oh, this one's been a week. I'm not going to get back to it. Like it doesn't matter now. If it was important, they would have called back, right? So I'm in the skid steer, loading the tandem, and my phone rings, and it says no caller ID. One of my foremen, whenever he calls, it says no caller ID. So I'm like, great, Scott's calling, something's wrong. Pick up the phone. He's like, hey, it's Mark. Did you get my messages? And I'm just like, fuck, here we go. Like, I don't have time for this. I'm loading the skids here. He goes, oh, I left you a couple messages. And I'm like, oh, really? Yeah, I never got them. Like, he's like, you know what? That's really unprofessional. I'm just like, the wrong fucking time, man. Like, it's like, I'm professional. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, I do $1 million jobs. Do you think I'm going to drop my hat for fucking your $1,500 topsoil job? And just like, get lost. And I hang up the phone.
Oh my God.
And then 20 minutes later, this fucking 1 star Google review comes through. But I figured, why not?
Wait, is this the guy that asked if this is going to be less than $1,000?
Yes, it's the guy who asked if it was going to be less than $1,000. The same guy who said he wasn't strong enough to do the job.
That's awesome.
That's
wow.
Like, I've been thinking for a couple of days, because you can respond to their Google review, right?
Yeah.
I've been stewing on a response, or maybe I'm better to just leave it. I don't know.
No, it's way better to respond. You're down this. You've gone down the. You've gone down this far down the path. You got to respond to that guy.
Yeah, I don't know what it like because it says something about me being what did it say? Unprofessional. So I just want to be like, was it unprofessional when I showed up on time? Was it unprofessional when I gave you half an hour of free advice? Was it unprofessional when I gave you an itemized quote? Like, just because people have
Yeah, but
money
you
doesn't
know what I
mean
don't. Yeah, but know what I don't understand? Like in your defense,
what?
text you, shoot you a fucking email.
Oh,
Who
you
the
Yeah.
who the fuck leaves a voicemail in 2024? I don't even check my voice. If people left me voicemails, there could be 100 on my phone. I don't even
why don't you
acknowledge
have 100
voicemails.
one-star reviews then?
I probably should. I'm just saying, like, leaving someone a voicemail in 2024 when they could DM you on three different Instagram accounts.
Yeah.
They could text you. They could send you an email. Like there's a million ways to put it in writing to ensure that it got to you and give you a chance to physically respond.
That's part of the problem for me. My voicemail says, send me an email because I'm not going to check my voicemails. But part of the problem for me is I get people emailing how to hardscape. I get people emailing ever after landscaping. I get texts. I get WhatsApp messages. I get Instagram messages. I get Facebook messages. But I really only check my email. And then like every 2-3 weeks, I'll catch up on everything else, and there'll be like missed messages from 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't like I almost would be tempted to just delete the voicemail off my
I do. Yeah. I don't like
like
seeing
just no, like just shut it down. No voicemail available.
oh,
Fuck
not
you.
at all.
Like when was the last time you listened to a voicemail and was like, holy fuck, that changed my life?
Not whenever
Never.
I had a client saying, I've got a giant check for you, that's for sure. Call me back.
Yeah, that does not happen. I'm just saying, like, what's the point of it?
Well, some people who maybe aren't us check their
What
voicemail.
you know what you should respond to that as? You should respond to it and you should put, hey, sorry, man, I was waiting by my fax machine and I didn't get your fax. If you had faxed me over a response, I would have been able to respond. Hey, bro, if we're gonna live in 1985 with voicemail, let's send a fucking fax.
Yeah. I don't know. What do? I think you just let it be. And like, I don't think just because you give someone a quote that you necessarily are married to doing their job then, right? Just because they can afford it doesn't mean you're the right contractor for them. And he proved it, right? By talking shit about us.
Go drop off a bag of PK's Fragmites in his yard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's true. If just because you quote something doesn't mean that you're obligated to do it.
Yeah. That's it.
Like you could have, if you quoted something in the spring when you had no work, and then someone calls you in the fall when you're swamped, you're not obligated to do that. You can say, I'm way too busy for this now.
Yeah. There was a couple weeks old, the quote. Not that it matters. It's I wasn't fond of the guy. Wasn't partial to doing his job. That would have taken all of half a day.
She said, thanks for this review. I wasn't fond of you anyways.
Yeah.
This hasn't made me like you any better than when I met you.
So whenever I met him to go do the job, to quote, he's like, "You seem like a really nice guy," and this, like, I don't give a shit about your opinion, dude. Like, I seem like a nice guy, so obviously you're wrong, because now I'm not.
You're not a nice guy.
I'm not a nice guy,
You
apparently.
don't want to spread his topsoil.
I don't want to spread your fucking topsoil, you weak little piece of piss. So,
He's a keyboard warrior, baby.
you keyboard warrior.
What you should put as the reply is, hey, I'm going to come by your place so we can discuss this in person. I want to have a face-to-face discussion about this.
Let's have a face-to-face discussion about this.
That's what I think. That's what I think you should put.
Yeah, I don't know. I how important are Google reviews? Like, is this a stain on natural design for the rest of my life? Should I worry that
I
much?
think
Because I'm
I
not really worried.
I think 1-star reviews aren't that important. I
They're
would rather
good.
get it,
It's good for SEO, Google reviews.
but I would rather have a 1-star review than a 3-star review. Because a 1-star review, when people read it, they're going to be like, "Oh, this guy's probably an idiot."
I don't know. I've seen some companies that have frauded a lot of clients out of money that have lots of 1-star reviews. And
But I'm saying if you have one obscure review,
yeah,
review that isn't like if you have a whole bunch of 5-star reviews and then one that isn't a 5-star review, would you rather have a 1-star or a 3-star? Because if you have a 1-star, it means that probably you've got a good company and you ran into one psychopath. If
Yeah.
you've got a 3-star, that's a person you probably actually fucked over.
I wouldn't say you fucked over. Maybe the person's just difficult.
I would
or
just put more.
fair in their rating, right? Maybe they are actually being fair in their rating where
Yeah.
they put some thought into it.
Well, that's, I guess, yeah.
Who takes
I'm
the
just
time
saying,
to write a 3-star review, though?
who writes a
That's
3?
so like lukewarm that I wouldn't even bother, you know? Like, why risk pissing off the contractor if you may need him again in the future?
Hmm.
If you're giving a 3-star, I would just not write write anything at all. Like Bambi, right? If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. You don't necessarily have anything mean to say either. Just it was a mediocre encounter.
Don't
Nobody
burn
cares.
bridges.
Mediocre encounter.
A mediocre encounter. This, so that's what everyone says when they
when
when they
listen to the
finish listening
podcast.
to this podcast. Like,
Yeah.
well, that's an hour of my life I won't get back. That was a mediocre encounter. I have some huge news.
Oh,
I'm going to
Really?
announce it here on the podcast. Huge.
You're having
Well,
a baby.
I find this to be somewhat amusing. I honestly I find it amusing. And I am pursuing this because I feel like, anyways, we'll get into this. It says hey Michael, which immediately I'm like, obviously you don't know me or follow me if you call me Michael. It says Angelica here, strategic partner manager at LMN. We're loving your content. I'm like, have you ever listened to me? Like, or watched anything I've done? Like, what do you love about my content? Like, what? We think you'd be perfect fit for some exciting projects we've got in mind. Like, what? What? Like, let's hop on a quick chat to explore how we can team up and create something awesome. Grab time here on my calendar and let's make it happen. Cheers. So I went on the Calendly thing and I made an appointment, which I guarantee I'll forget about. And that'll be her first dose of dealing with me when I forget about this appointment, because there's no fucking way I'm going to remember it at Thursday at whatever time. I don't even know what time it is anymore. And it didn't actually register into my phone, so I don't know how to keep track of it. But I'm left wondering, like, I obviously have spent a lot of time with you guys talking about things. Do you think in any way that I'm a good strategic partner for LMN? Have you ever heard me say anything that would make me a good strategic partner for them?
No. I
Like,
don't.
what is your project? Like, they have a special exciting project for me. Is your project keeping track of all your shit on yellow pieces of paper in a fucking brown folder? Because if that's your project, I am definitely a good strategic partner for you.
Maybe they're going after guerrilla marketing, and you're the gorilla.
I guess so. To their credit, if they looked at all the people online and were like, who's the least likely to actually convert to our program and do something with it, and let's get that guy to convert to our program and do something with it and talk about how great it is, I may fit the bill for that special project.
Oh. You're the whale.
I think I'm just the old guy who doesn't want to learn anything about their program. I don't think I'm the whale.
You're the white whale. If they can get you,
yeah.
right? So what does Kelly think about it?
I didn't tell her.
He's been down this road before, though.
She'll
right?
probably be worried about us getting sued, like last time these people contacted me. I think she's more worried about that. She was the one that ixnayed the last partnership. She didn't think it was going to go well. Which isn't I can't see like I can't see myself being a valuable partner to anyone.
Do you think they'll send us to H&A?
I don't know. Maybe we could get them to sponsor the podcast.
Yeah.
How would you feel about that, Mike? Are you cool with that?
I'm happy if they, depending on the dollar amount.
I don't know. So I'm going to have this meeting because maybe they do have some things that I'd be interested in, and I'd like to give everyone a chance. And she used some emojis, I think, which always gets my gears going, you know. She used a hand. Angelica here, hand emoji. I like that.
Like
Who
a
uses it? Yeah, like a wave. Like, hi, I'm here. And she gave me a bit of a wave. Like, that's pretty good. I think that's, you know, that's definitely worthy of a response. So, and maybe they got some big things cooking there that I'd be interested in. I feel like they've never listened to me talk. I don't think
they listen to this podcast.
I'm confident they do not listen to this podcast. Like,
No.
I don't know. Who knows? You never know what opportunity lies ahead.
Yeah.
Maybe this is where I crash and burn. It's, you know, it was actually Gary V's podcast. We were talking about people with my personality. They work their way up, then they sabotage themselves and they crash and burn. Maybe this and the Phragmites is the start of me crashing and burning and sabotaging myself.
I'm feeling the pressure now to put together an agreement for you to become an ambassador for How to Artscape now. You got time on Thursday for a back-to-back meeting?
Do you have a strategic project for me?
Or just add me into the LMN meeting. Maybe we might get into a bidding war.
I should add you as the my agent. My representative. I probably need a representative. Yesterday, so I have this like stomach pill that I take because I don't have a gallbladder. So I've been taking it for like 20 years, this pill. And I take it every day. And if I don't, then I get insane acid reflux no matter what I eat. And then that can give you esophagus cancer. So I try to take this pill. Plus, you don't sleep, and it's just horrible. So normally Kelly refills the prescription for me because obviously anyone who listens to this podcast realizes I'm totally useless. So, but it had gotten to the point where she could no longer get the prescriptions because I had to go to see the doctor again because it had been like, I don't know, 3 years or something since I went to see the doctor to get this prescription renewed. And I was looking at the last bottle of pills, you know, like I'm looking at it every day and I'm taking one pill and I'm like, man, I got to do something about this situation. Like this bottle of pills will run out. And I keep taking them week after week. And yesterday I took the last pill. I was like, okay, I have to address this situation now. I have literally procrastinated this until the pill bottle is empty. Like I didn't go when there was 5 pills left. I waited till there was no pills. And I thought this is a testimony to my whole life. This is what makes you a real landscaper. When you leave everything till the last. And so today, when I was about to click on this link, I got a text message from a client who said, hey, do you have any dump trucks I can get tomorrow morning to live load? It's like, it's 7:00 like, at night. And this person's trying to order dump trucks for tomorrow morning. And I said, and I thought about it and I said, yeah, man, I'll make that happen for you because you are just like me. You took the last pill last night and looked at the empty bottle and went, fuck, I need dump trucks. And I totally forgot about this all day. And I was like, that is the epitome of, if you are someone who would take all the pills in the bottle before you dealt with the fact you have no prescription for any more pills, you should be a landscaper. Well, I was at the doctor too. I made it a multi-purpose visit because I try to only go to the doctor once every 3 years when I need my driver's license thing fixed. So the lady did my driver's license, and she did my prescription for another year, so I get my pills. And then she I didn't think that I had toenail fungus, but the ads on the radio were making me really nervous, so I got her to look at my toenails.
And
I have a little bit of toenail fungus.
Oh no.
Which apparently is really common, and you have to put like they don't let you take the pills anymore because the pills destroy your liver. And I was like, man, if I was going to destroy my liver, I wouldn't have done it taking antifungal pills. That doesn't seem like any fun at all. I would much rather destroy my liver by drinking alcohol. So I
wait, alcohol kills toenail fungus?
No, that would be all right if it did though. They give you nail polish now, and you have to apply this nail polish nightly.
Did they give you the spacers for your toes too?
They did not give me any spacers for my toes. Well, I don't know. I haven't picked up the prescription yet. Because after I accomplished all that, I went about living my life the way I normally do. And then I got home, and then I started logged on here, and I was working on the schedule for tomorrow. And then I realized I never went and got the prescription. So it's like, well, at least I did like 85% of it. I just failed at the end where they needed me to actually go get the prescription.
It'll still be there tomorrow. You can get it tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I'll have super bad heartburn and be rotting out my esophagus, but the prescription will be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
But if you are going to rot out a part of your body, just the word esophagus is appealing.
You wake up at night with acid.
Oh yeah.
That I've had that a couple of times. That's been bad.
Yeah, if I don't take that pill, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
But so Kelly had her gallbladder out. So then when you have your gallbladder out, sometimes you have a lot of like heartburn things. And so she's been trying to like mitigate that with eating, because she says the pill I take has some kind of massive side effects. I was like, I'm 20 years in.
Depression and hating yourself?
I think that's part of it. Yeah.
Wow.
It can fuck with your brain. Yeah. So that being said, I was like, I'm 20 years in on this pill. Like, can't stop now. Pretty committed to it. Yeah. And for me, it doesn't generally matter what I eat. I get heartburn from it. So the doctor did give me some nutritional advice, and her nutritional advice today was never eat anything from Tim Hortons.
Ever. Anything.
She said the only thing that you should have from Tim Hortons is a black tea, like a tea with no sugar and no cream, because everything else they have is genetically manipulated and full of salt.
As the doctor who was pushing the COVID vaccine on you 2 years ago.
I don't know what her opinion on it was, but everyone in this doctor's office was still wearing masks.
Yeah.
Which was kind of a weird experience, to be honest. But I was like, whatever, this is what you need me to do so that you'll fill out my driver's form so I don't lose my driver's license, and you'll check out my toes, and you'll write me a prescription all at once. Because there was a huge sign when I walked in that said, do not come here with multiple problems, 1 problem per visit. I was like, oh, that sucks.
The clogged healthcare system, that doesn't seem to make sense. Make multiple appointments for your multiple issues.
That's what it said.
That one shot.
So it said that. So I was overtly nice to everyone, hoping I'd be able to squeeze in my 3 issues in 1 visit. And then she said, because I went to that clinic because it's the clinic that my family doctor runs in the downstairs from his office. And so she said, is such and such your family doctor? I said, I don't know. It's a guy with an office upstairs. I don't know his name. She went, oh, I said, I don't go there that much. I said, I don't even know if I would recognize him. So, and I don't know his name for sure, but he has an office upstairs. She said, good enough. We'll help you. We'll help you.
All you need. Did we lose Mike? That must be a yes.
Mike? Maybe he's home and he's going upstairs.
It said you're now the host.
It said Mike entered the waiting room.
The waiting room.
It says admit. Should I admit him?
Admit him. You're the host.
I'm admitting Mike. I don't know how to do that. I don't know if I should.
Can you guys still hear me?
There, you're back.
Mike, your audio is like terrible. Now there's two of you. Chad, are you muted?
Nope.
Oh.
Right.
Mike is connecting with audio.
If you had a potential client that had boatloads.
I like how you said that. Like I've never had any clients. Thanks, man.
No. Well, that was
just the way it came out.
Oh, I thought so. Yeah.
I know what you meant, but the way it came out, you're like, let's say you had a potential client. Like, hey, fuck off. Like I have clients. What are you talking about?
That's not what I meant.
Anyways, I know that's not how you meant it.
If you had a potential client with boatloads of money, I mean, so much money that they had a street in your city named after them.
Wow.
But after doing some digging, you found out that they are absolutely terrible to work for. And they've been kicked out of multiple establishments for Karen-like behavior. What would you do? Would you entertain the estimate?
No. I think you're just walking down a road of pain.
Yeah. Yeah. A road of hydroseed pain.
That is not something I would do for someone like that. Woo!
Yeah.
That is definitely
we
off the list because like
nobody likes hydroseed, but especially a miserable client.
Okay, but you hydroseed.
I do.
Okay. How often do you honestly believe that the hydroseed is like really, really successful?
This time of year, I got a pretty good shot.
Yeah.
I'd say we got an 80% chance this time of year. Actually, someone messaged me last week. He's like, my hydroseed looks great. I love it. Thank you so much.
Really?
Yeah.
How many messages do you get like that as opposed to messages that are like, hey, bro, this never grew?
Ooh, I do a big song and dance to let people know that this isn't sod. Like it's almost second nature. Oh, you want hydroseed? Here's the spiel, right? And then you got to walk back their expectations a whole lot. But with this lady, it doesn't seem like that's doable. She was asking what kind of mix we use, and I told her, she's like, well, do I have a choice about the fescue in it? I'm just like, here we go. She wants to take out one ingredient. I said, we can spray whatever you want, but we're going to have to get special blends and stuff like that. And I don't know why I opened my mouth and like give them the option and shit. But
yeah, you probably just should have said, no, we can't do that.
Can't do that.
That's an absolute no.
I'm naturally a problem solver, but I stick my foot in my mouth, I guess. Same thing with the fucking railing guy, which he messaged me Monday. He's like, hey, is my railing ready yet? I said, we tried to put it on Friday and it didn't fit. So it's back at the fabrication shop. And then he said, okay, can you be here for the install? Because I wasn't happy with the work that the guys did last time. And I almost jumped down his throat because the guys last time pulled out one raffinado step because it had a chunk of glue on it the size of, I don't know, a dime. Right? So we let it harden and then we cut it off. And then there was still that little bit of, like, not even, I don't know what it is. It's not glue, but it's like the oil from the glue or something like that. I don't know. Anyway,
the resin,
whatever it is, that had to come off. And obviously it was the bottom step, right? So the whole step comes apart. And I can almost for certain picture my guys swearing and yelling when they do it because that's the reason I didn't go do it, because there'd be a lot of swearing and yelling. I'd be pissed off. So I sent them. So I'm sure the guy is fucking pissed off about that. So he wants me to go there and oversee the railing install. And this is the type of guy that in order for anything to get done, I have to pop by first. Can you just pop by and look at this? Come by and look at this. Oh, I got a question. Can you pop by? I'm like, I can't pop by 5 fucking times in your little job. Like, the pop by, I have no time for the pop by.
Yeah, I agree with you. Fuck the pop by.
The pop by. Just pop by real quick. And
There is no real quick.
the asphalt contractor is getting the same deal, right? 5 or 6 times. Just pop. I just want to show you something. Can you pop by? Can you? I don't like the grading. Can you pop by? He's like, I'm happy to answer questions on email, but I can't pop by again. I've been there 4 times. Like, you're asking for a $4,000 paving job. There's no
So
time.
has it been paved yet?
No, he didn't get that far. He got
I
to the
would I would have
yeah.
said fuck off.
yeah.
If I was the paving guy, I would have been like, I would say, how desperate am I? I would rather not eat than go to this person's house
It's
and do the paving.
he's like, do I have to? Do you think I have to do it legally? I'm like, I don't think so. Just because you prepped it doesn't mean you have to pave it. I'm like, you're mitigating your loss by the potential that the guy's not going to pay you, right?
Did the guy not pay you?
He still has my money for the interlock and the step because the goddamn railings aren't ready yet, which is going to cost a lot more than $650, by the way. Assuming the first time we rigged them up, it was $250. So I don't know. I don't want to go back and see the guy. I want to pop back in.
Pop by. Just give me a pop by. Little pop by.
I'm working down the road and I still don't have time to pop by.
So is this guy retired?
Mhm.
That's the problem.
Oh yeah. He does sweet fuck all day.
He waits for the pop buys.
Waits for the pop by. Yeah, I think they get projects done just so that they can talk to people. And they were while I was there, naturally they're talkers, right? And they were talking about their neighbor, how they got in a fight with their neighbor because the neighbor was growing a giant weed plant and they didn't like the smell of it. And they asked the neighbor if he could move his weed plant to another corner of the yard. And it almost created a fist fight. And at first I'm like, yeah, that's really unreasonable. And now that I've talked to this guy for long enough and he's asked me to pop by 5 times, I want to have the fist fight with the guy. Like, I'm sick of this guy. I don't know what I do to myself.
What was the total value of this project?
Less than $6,000. Well, there was the wall, right? The wall was $7,500 per neighbor, which was paid. So that's $15K there. And then his portion of a couple steps, 2 steps and a walkway, $5,000. I can tell you exactly. But not worth the headache. Steps and walkway, $5,119, including the contingency for railing.
The contingency. Did he ask you for a refund on the railing yet?
No, not yet. And I'm going to tell him he's lucky he's not getting an extra $500 bill for it. I'm out of nice.
You should tell him to check out your Google reviews.
Yeah.
I hang up on people, bitch.
I hang up on people.
You're lucky I didn't hang up on you.
No time to talk. No time to pop by. That's how it goes. And on a completely unrelated note, we did another one this week. And there's a bit of siding to do. And I don't know how I inherited the siding problem. But like we took out a wood set of steps, right? And the new steps instead of being 48 inches, are 42 inches, right? They're wrapping out of steps.
Yeah.
Take out wood steps, put stone steps. But so now we're 6 inches short at the corner, right? And it's like, what are you going to do about that? Well, why should I have to do anything? Like, I'm not a carpenter. I'm not a siding guy. Like, why is it my problem to fix the siding, to do something about the siding now? It, I don't, why? What about a landscaper makes you have to do everything when it's not your problem?
I agree. I don't understand. I agree with you 100%. I do not understand why that's your problem.
Like, a couple times we've been asked to do the railings. And when you say no, you don't do railings, it's almost offensive to people that you don't put the railings on the steps that you build. Like, why would you expect me to?
I think for me, that comes down to how competitive the invite. Like, if we have a lot of work and someone asks me about the railings, I'd be like, yeah, I have nothing. I don't do that. I have nothing to do with it. It's your problem. I'll build the stairs. You call a railing guy. And what I used to say to people all the time was, here's the choices. I don't do that kind of work. If you want me to call the railing guy, I'm going to mark it up 25% for my time and effort. Or I'm going to let you call the railing guy direct and save 25%.
That's great. That's genius.
These are your two choices, and you pick what you want. And almost everyone says, I'll call the railing guy. Cool.
I'm going to use that for everything. The siding, I can call the siding guy for you, but it's going to cost you 25%.
It's the truth, though. You're not lying to anyone.
Yeah, you're not lying. You're being completely straight up, and it's fair because all these little things are costing me boatloads of time.
Yes.
Like the railing and this siding and the piece of eaves trough in the front that doesn't fit the downspout now because of the bullnose on the step that we put on. Needs to be extended 3 inches or something. Well, now I got to find a piece of eaves trough that matches the color and the style, and like all these little problems are boatloads of time at the end of the week.
That you have nothing to. I was just having this conversation with Nancy because we're working on a resident one. We have 2 residential jobs going right now. And on one of them, I really needed to close some work. It was in the summer and I was nervous about getting through August. And, you know, if you're not going into August with a plan, then it can be a rough month. So I needed to close this job. So the guy said to me, we need a new window well here. And I said, I'll put a new window well in. He said, how much? I said, if we're closing the job, I'll just put a new window well in. And I would say this, new window well, as in one
What?
new window well. And then he said, there's a downspout on the back of the house. What should we do about it? And this downspout only catches a tiny portion of the roof that's an extension of the kitchen. So it's like say it's 10 feet wide and 8 feet deep. It's a tiny piece. There's not a lot of water going into this downspout. So I said, listen, bro, since the whole backyard is fucked, we'll dig a trench across, we'll throw a weeping tile in, we'll dig a pit, and we'll throw a weeping tile in and we'll put it into a pit for you so that this water problem is deleted from your yard. It can go into the ground, back into the aquifer, blah, 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 blah. I'll do that for you too, if we're going to sign up this job. And the guy said, great, let's sign the job. I said, okay, perfect. So we do the backyard, we do the job, we do it. We're starting to move up the side of the house now. And Rick calls me, hey, are we replacing the window well at the side of the house too? I'm like, I didn't even know there was a window well at the side of the house. No. He's like, oh yeah, we're supposed to be draining these other 2 eaves troughs and running them in a pipe all the way out the front and exiting from the front.
What?
And I'm like, okay. I was like, could this be like a miscommunication? But Rick's also at the point where he needs to do this now or we're fucked. So I said, I'll go buy the stuff.
Yeah. Been there.
I said, maybe I miscommunicated, and this guy said to me, I need you to replace all the window wells and run pipes for all the downspouts. Now, I'm fairly confident that's not what he said, but I don't have a recording of the meeting. So I was like, fuck. So I went to buy all this stuff and to get all the stuff for the downspouts, plus they don't make window wells that are 42 inches wide and 5 feet deep and 1 foot deep and five, anyways, whatever. We have to like bolt 3 window wells together or custom order a window well for this shit. Because of course it's some weird size window that no one fucking makes window wells for. So all in, when I bought all the stuff, it was like $400. I was like, now I'm not even pissed about the labor because we got to dig a bunch at the side anyways, and the labor I think is like kind of an inconsequential thing for this. But I was like, fuck. So I called Nancy, said, hey, did I commit to doing this window well and this other drainage shit? She's like, no, you never said anything about that. You made it clear what you were doing. I said, all right, I'm invoicing this guy for the cost of this shit.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
I was like, I'm not eating this $400. Fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. So he got it done, right? And
it's not done yet, but Rick's going to do it tomorrow. But yeah, I bought all the stuff for it. So Mike, you're back.
Back
and ready for action.
Just about.
Wearing your Perma Edge shirt.
Yeah.
Sponsor of the Mulder Life podcast.
Is it?
Yeah, all the time they have Perma Edge as sponsor of the Mulder Life podcast. Not a sponsor of the Not Our Finest Hour podcast. I'm going to work with that strategic planner from LMN.
Great.
Perfect.
You missed the Chad's railing debacle.
Oh yeah, I'll catch up on it on Friday.
Yeah.
When I listen in.
Yeah.
I heard, is that the guy who has a street name after him?
No, that's a different
okay.
client. That's the client who has boatloads of money, but has an awful reputation in the town. He's been kicked out of places. It's I'm still wrestling with this one, but it's a hydro seed job. This is a particular client. And the tile job. And I don't know. I don't want anyone else to have the job, but I also don't want to suffer through it for months and months. You know, I don't know.
Is it another porcelain tile project?
Yeah. Well, as far as I know. Right.
How much porcelain could you lay a day, your guys?
About 43 by 3 tiles.
43 by 3.
That's
okay.
40. Let's say 400 square feet, maybe.
Cool.
With this stuff. That's 3 of them.
3 guys. Gotcha.
Yeah. And they were bad. They were buttering everyone, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and that's, I don't know if it's easier 3 by 3 tiles or less easy, but they're heavy too, right? They're not.
Yeah.
And I was thinking maybe it's better to sling them over, but you can't back butter them and then flip them and then grab them with the sucker and then sling them over to where they're going to put
How
them.
thick did you do the back buttering?
3/8. Well, 3/8 notch trowel. I'm not a tile guy, so does that mean that 3/8 have an inch worth of mortar?
I have no idea.
No idea.
Me either. But it worked. It met the concrete really nicely. So That's what we went with. I had this one GC who we're finding out is a nightmare to work with, and they're not big, right? They're like this little GC, and they're in the process of changing ownership to this young guy who is fairly new in construction, but he talks down to you like he's been doing it for fucking 40 years. I'm like, dude, you're half my age. Um, we're doing we did a little concrete pour for him last week, and they're really annoying to the point that like they're checking my forms and shit. And then whenever we left for the day, they tarped my concrete, and it was 25 degrees and sunny all day, and 20 degrees and clear in the night. There was no reason to tarp this concrete. You show up in the morning and there's a fucking tarp over. I almost lost it just for the simple fact that they put a tarp on my work. Like I was beside myself. Anyway, he texted me today. He's like, "Is there anything you can do about this?" Where we put the edger on it, Murray went a little aggressive, and there's maybe an 1/8 to a 1/4 inch lip on the concrete. And he's like, "Is there anything you can do about this?" I said, "I can grind it or I can chisel it. But that's all you get." Like, I don't know what do you want me to do? Reform the whole fucking 12 by 10 pad? Which I look back on the numbers and I only made $600 on the thing. Not worth my time at all. Should have used the software.
Why did you do it?
I thought I was making more because
I thought I was making more money.
no, it's it was in a package deal.
I think you're the perfect strategic partner.
No, it was a package deal with a bunch of like 500 square feet of interlock we had to
I
do.
thought I made more money.
Well, do you want me to lie about it?
No, I just that's awesome because I would be like,
I never thought they were making more money than they actually were.
I'm
Go bankrupt
impressed.
because of that shit.
I'm
you know?
impressed you figured out you made $600. I wouldn't even know how to get to that.
Well, I walked back the costs and stuff like that. Like, yeah. Anyway, but it was supposed to be tied in with a bunch of interlock work that we were doing around front and sonotubes and stuff like that. Until I got the schedule, and they're like, "Oh, we broke this up, so you could do the back first, and then come back 2 weeks later for the other stuff." And I was busy, so I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then I realized, I'm like, fuck, I priced to do this all in one shot, not piecework. So anyway, we would have made more if we were on site to stay. And then they're like, "When are you coming back to do the sonotubes?" I said, "Your schedule says 2 weeks." Just a real short answer to the guy. I can't stand him. But anyway, maybe it's me who's the problem.
Why were you pricing concrete pours and sonotubes?
So the sonotubes are at the hospice. It's around the interlock that is at every room door, I guess. Right. So in order to put the interlock back, you have to have your sonotubes poured. And so who better to do it than me, who's there anyway with all my equipment, and who can do it without making a giant mess. Like, I'll just auger the holes, put the tubes in, pour the concrete. Someone else comes in, with a backhoe or whatever, and all of a sudden the whole fucking site is dug up and I'm 2 feet too deep and backfilled with native material. It's more of a mess for anybody but me. So I figured we can do that. I can put on someone's siding. I can put in a sonotube. So
Call a sonotube guy. You can call him or I can call him. It costs you 20 points.
5%. Yeah.
You missed that, Mike.
I did.
My sage advice to Chad.
Okay.
Great. You should, when you listen Friday, you'll know.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think
once a year I come out with something.
I think a lot more than that.
I think we should all show up to PK's LMN meeting.
Okay.
Like a package deal.
A package deal? Yeah. Do you think that the fact that we're talking about LMN on here, they're getting what they wanted out of it?
Do they know that you have a podcast?
I have no idea. I seriously doubt that they wanted me to start talking about it on this podcast. This is what sort of last time we dealt with them, this is sort of what happened. Kelly wanted to try it. They sent me a contract. I read the contract and recorded it on my phone, word for word, and then I was going to post it online on my Instagram so that everyone would know exactly what my contract was, because I thought that was fair. And then Kelly thought that we would get sued and shut it down and told them we weren't interested. So I don't know what would have really happened, but I think Kelly's a lot smarter than me. So I think that it was probably the right decision. So I haven't told her about this new strategic partnership because I feel like she might kibosh it before it gets going. So we'll see.
Oh man.
She'll be like, don't you have enough stuff going on? You need to add this to the mix. I don't know what they could possibly want me to do. Maybe they heard we're going to H&A and they want us to hit the booth.
Yeah. Maybe the sponsorship or agreement deal, the money that comes in for that will offset the cost of the Phragmites.
That being said, that they are giving us our holdback money, so props to them.
Nice.
This was a new one though. They told Kelly they hadn't paid us yet because they were having a problem with WSIB. That's a new excuse. Never heard that one before.
That's
interesting.
I liked it. I thought it was creative.
Yeah.
I love when someone comes up with a new creative reason to not pay. I fucking love it. The world, to me, there's 20% of the world that pays the bill when the bill comes due. And then there's 60% of the world that never pays and you have to harass. And then the last 20% of the world are people who are obsessively calling you, trying to pay you money. Because they're so worried that they owe you money. And I'll be like, yo, like, it's not a huge deal. Totally trust you. You've always paid me in the past. Like, why don't we just wait till this job's over at the end of the week and you can cut me one check? But there's very few people that are just, hey, the bill's due and pay it. And that's my opinion. I don't know. Like, what do you think, Chad?
Sorry, I'm trying to do a locate, which is not working out. But we get a lot of we need an updated certificate of insurance and an updated WSIB. They can go on and look at your WSIB. They don't need you to print them a fucking.
No. Yeah.
It's a song and dance to get paid all the time, and then a check swap. Always a check swap.
Don't ever talk to me about a fucking check swap. Some bins and a check swap.
Check swap. We get check swap. We had a client. We did a lot of work for them in town and in Brockville and stuff. And I needed soil testing from them which I don't know how I got roped into paying for the soil testing. But I said, if we want to use your topsoil, I need soil testing. It didn't end up passing, so we couldn't use it. And they're like, oh, here's the bill for the soil testing. It was $5,000. Hey, $5,000 for soil testing? It costs $300 to do. I said, I'll pay the bill because we work together a lot. But if I ever see another $5,000 bill for soil testing, I'm going to kick your arse and then the person who gave you the bill. Because there's no way soil testing is worth $5,000.
What did they say?
They said, oh, okay, well, that's fair. I said, yeah, I'm not paying for soil testing ever again. Whoever provides the soil pays for the fucking soil testing. Or else we don't.
They were providing the soil to you, but refusing to pay for the test?
That was Yeah, they wanted because I asked them for the test. They figured I should pay for the test.
Wouldn't it have been further ahead to just hire your own testing person?
I should have.
Or is that
I
a
didn't know,
conflict of interest?
but no, you just need the numbers, right? You just need to know if the soil is going to work or not.
Yeah.
But before all this, like I didn't know it was going to cost $5,000, or I would have hired my own, or just got soil from someone else who had testing already.
That's probably more than the soil was worth.
Yeah.
How
Well,
much
no,
soil was it?
$80,000 topsoil build, but
Hmm.
yeah. So, but I don't have any clients who. Well, I have one client who will pay before the job's even done. He's like, "You're coming Monday to hide your seed, and the check is in the mail Friday afternoon." Like it's almost magic. I think they do it on purpose to like impress you.
They also could be doing it because they know they're going to get great service from you.
I did used to work for them.
And they didn't give you a 5-star rating review?
Yeah,
You should ask.
Heidi. Heidi in the office. Can you give me a 5-star review? She's great.